Hello everyone, this is Eagle Al. Today I want to do a video on the topic of, it's basically called muscle memory. And I want to go into a little detail about what that really means. When people talk about in the fitness industry about muscle memory, it's basically a loose term that they use to mean the ability to gain muscle back very rapidly once that muscle's been lost. um, Basically, what it is like when you're working out and your muscle is growing and growing and growing, that muscle is more cells are being added to it, and the muscle cells are being elongated, and you build your muscles up to a certain point, and then um, if you quote lose that muscle, or you become lighter, you have a break away from strength training for an extended period of time. If that muscle is greatly reduced, um, it comes back way faster than the amount of time that it took it to get to that level in the first place. Okay, like here's an example. Let's say you got two men. Uh, Currently, right now, today, they are both 5'8", and let's say they're both 145 pounds. The guy A, a few months ago, was 175 pounds instead of 145 because he spent the last 12 years in the gym strength training, and he took his body from 145 to 175, added 30 pounds of muscle. And then let's say he had an injury and he was in the hospital for a while. It could be anything, chemo, whatever. And he wasted away down to 145. That's guy A. Guy B has never strength trained in his life. He just did everyday things that the standard guy would do, like go to work, carry a bag of groceries in, but they're both 145. Now, the guy who had the illness that had to stay in the hospital, that lost those that muscularity and got down to 145, he can go back to the gym and probably within a course of 3 to 4 months, that muscle would be brought back onto his body and he will be back to where he was before. So even though it took him 12 years to get there the first time, he can get that back in like 3 or 4 months. Then guy B, who's also 145 and 5'8", if he starts strength training for the first time today, it may be a decade from now before he puts on that 30 pounds of muscle to get to 175 pounds. And there's probably, I'm sure there's going to be people out there that don't know much about strength training and fitness that's going to say that, well, there's going to try to say that what I'm saying is not true. But the part that I didn't mention is the scenario that I'm giving you, that actually happened to me. When I was 24, I caught an autoimmune disease. Won't go into lengthy detail, but it put me in a hospital for 21 days straight. I had chemo, my muscles wasted away. I actually went from 185 pounds. I was weighing in the low to mid 180s at the time. And I went from the 180s down to, I actually bottomed out to 132 pounds within 3 months of coming home from the hospital. I went back to the gym, and it was less than a year later. I don't know the exact time because this was 20 years ago. But within a matter of months, I was back to the weight I used to be. So it is definitely a thing. But it's just basically the ability to, once you've reached a certain level of putting on extra muscle and strength, once you've reached it, it comes back like over 10 times quicker. And it is a thing. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. So I can't use fancy words to sound all technical when I explain it, but it is a real thing, and people who are very knowledgeable in the fitness industry will also tell you it's a real thing. So, like, also, if you're a guy who used to go to the gym and you've gotten out of shape over the last 5 or 6 years, and you go back to the gym, you will gain it back like very, very quick. This is Eagle Owl. Thanks for watching.